I have a verb problem. My verb doesn't exist in this sentence that I found in an HSK1 deck that I stole / borrowed for my Anki play. So we've got like wurde, my, mama, mother, hen, hun, very, and piao. I'm reading it backwards, which is really hard to do in a second language. Piao liang is beautiful. Where is? Look again. Where the heck is? That was my question that I asked on Twitter. Because despite the fact that I'm all over social media again, I'm a Twitter lover. You're not going to change me, Mr. You-know-who. You can try to ruin my platform, and I don't care. Anyway, sorry, that was my rare political moment. Right, so I asked the question, hey, what the heck is going on? Where is the verb? I understand as a teacher of English, having had an ex-teacher of English, having had students from different first language backgrounds, that the to be verb doesn't exist in all languages. Got that. But there not being any verb at all blows my mind in a number of different ways. And having seen a sentence that I can basically read from the Hansa characters, yay, but wow, where's the verb? So I want a verb. I feel like I need to see a verb that I know. And so what did people say to this? Let's see. What did they say? Deb JT, I'm going to show you her username, had a very cute explanation. She said it's useful to think of hun as hun, H-E-N with the falling rising tone, tone 3. She said as having the meaning of verb to be, i.e. is in this case, rather than quote unquote very. I find it helpful anyway, if it stops me from putting I can't say anything right now, in. So that was a really good advice. However, I still want a verb. I don't need to be a verb, but I need a verb. So I said thank you, and then later, Patrick from Learn Chinese channel, awesome channel, please follow him, he's amazing. He wrote, no verb, in caps, no verb needed here as it is replaced by the adverb hun. More details, and then he left a Wikipedia page. Second paragraph, predictive after nouns. Sorry, Patrick, I don't do well with grammar sites. However, knowing that there are sentences with no verb and having it be super clear from these two folks that just get rid of it, Stephanie, you don't need a verb. You don't need a verb. Let me finish the replies. Oh, Alexander, this is all on Twitter, sent me my worst nightmare, a grammar chart. A grammar chart all in Hansa characters, which I hope I can read at some point. But I still won't like grammar charts even when I have the vocabulary to read that. So, sorry dude, I didn't spend much time on this. This stuff is what made me hate learning a language. I don't really go that way. I just did a video on this, actually. I don't learn that way very well. I know some people do. More power to you. Most of the materials you'll love in the world for language learning. I'm not that person. So the main takeaway from this is holy cow, there are sentences in Chinese that don't have what I would consider as a language learner a verb. Bracing myself for this difference. I'm not going to go find 500 grammar charts and examples and things. I just know in the back of my mind now that exists. And if I read a sentence that doesn't have it, I can just put the verb in there as I translate. If I translate, it's okay. It doesn't have to have one. Again, I'm going to be reading more than producing, so no problem. I'm not really worried about producing at this point, if ever. So that's totally fine. This also makes a lot of sense because when I used to teach writing to second language learners, not just from Chinese second language learners of English, but I believe it was also Arabic first language learners who were learning English, and a few other first language folks learning English, when they had sentences where there weren't verbs in their first language, I actually had it was a common problem for them not to put verbs in English. So I actually it was a most common problem for a lot of my writing students coming from languages other than English, is that they had sentences without them. I can't think of many, not expletives, like wow, holy cow, like those kinds of things. Not those sentences, if they're even called sentences, those are probably more phrases. But in English, I think it's one of the things that's pretty strict is there's a verb. There's generally a verb. And that's the grammar lens that I was viewing this sentence, this Chinese sentence in, is I was like, where's the verb? I need a verb. The adjective can't be a verb. Oh, but maybe it can. So it all kind of made sense. It really, really all kind of made sense. All of those missing verbs, I used to put MV and then put at the bottom missing verb. I didn't mark everything. I would mark most common problems. Don't worry, I wasn't that teacher, and I didn't use red, except for my first job. But you know what? When you're teaching, you're forgiven for a lot for your first teaching job, I think. Because, my gosh, there's so many things you can do wrong. But that's not the point. The point is, it makes sense as a language learner. I need to remove that English lens of there must be a verb. And as an ex-language teacher, I understand where my students were coming from. They were directly translating and not realizing how strict English was on there must be a verb. So it's kind of making a lot of sense on both sides of this. So, wow. Okay, head explosion over. I'm going to go back to studying vocabulary. Again, I'm not consciously studying a grammar or grammar books, but as I'm seeing sentences with the HSK 1 and soon 2 words that I'm using, I am noticing some grammatical features organically. I don't want to study it. Eventually, maybe I'll have to study grammar, but I really, really hope that is not the case, because that is not how I learn, and that will demotivate me. But I'm taking it day by day. The vocabulary is hard enough. So when I get to that point, I will make that decision. Heck, I said I wasn't going to study HSK, and look where I am now. So I'm not going to predict where I'm going in the future. All I know is that discovering the grammar this way is way more fun for me. And yes, I said fun, because this is fun. Doing it the way in the charts that I just showed you, that's not fun for me. I don't care if it is for you. Everybody's different, but it's not for me. Oh, it's so not for me. It's the opposite of fun. It is hell. All right. Thank you very much. See you.